Okay guys, so we are in Southington, Connecticut, and at the house that the Haunting in Connecticut movie was based on. Oh shit, that is their driveway home. So there is someone going home. So, okay, I'm gonna make this quick because someone lives here and it's rude. So, they said they don't mind if people take pictures, but yeah, I guess people have been so rude as to like walk up to their kids when they're outside playing. I don't know if it's the same lady that still lives here, but they'll come up to them and say like, oh, did you know there was demons in your house? And blah, blah, blah. People are weird. So we're just kind of being quick about it, but I'll talk about it in my blog a little bit. But basically, this family experience, like they would see this one particular man that was like, I guess, an apparition. He was called like the long hair man. He had like long black hair, and he would just like roam around their house and like talk to their children and stuff. It's tough to know whether it's true or not because apparently the like the family was very, very adamant that this is what happened, and other people that supported them basically. But when the Warrens came to investigate, I guess someone who was writing a story on it talked to them about it, and they were like, oh no, those people are crazy, blah blah blah, that didn't happen. So that's what they said Ed Warren said, but I don't know how actual, like factual that is, because I don't know how, if he would be that disrespectful of people who were going through a hard time, regardless of whether they're make-believing it or, you know, imagining it or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of hard to know whether it was or not, but it is a little, like, you can only see it in video obviously, but like you can see the doors kind of like faded, and like it is a little bit eerie, maybe just because we're making it that way, but it's a cute house nonetheless. I mean, I love these style houses, but it definitely has an eerie feel to it just because of what was claimed to have happened. So interesting, but we're gonna move on because we've already been here for 5 minutes and I don't want to make people uncomfortable. So alright, there's that. We're gonna move on now. Okay guys, so we are in Waterford, Connecticut at the Seaside Sanitarium, and it's apparently one of the most haunted sanitariums in Connecticut and also like in the world in general. So it's extremely cool. It's right behind me. So it's all gated up. We're trying to find a hole, which is so bad, but we're trying to find a hole so we could get in. And there's also another couple that's trying to do the same thing right now. So we're looking, and this is it up close. And it's super creepy, and I'm sure it's super creepy at night too. So yeah, so this was a sanitarium, and from what we researched, Tyler read that a lot of it was like kids who had tuberculosis. They'd found some new, what was the treatment called?
Heliotropic.
Heliotropic? Heliotropic? Something like that. It was the first treatment for kids with tuberculosis. So this is where they did it. And it looks like this was like a parking lot or something.
Yeah.
So we just talked to a man that's probably a local, and he said that they just put the fences up, but before there was no fence, so you could get in and take pictures and walk around and stuff. That would have been cool. But we could still find a hole. It's up close. There's like a little weather vane with a ship on it. Very pretty. It's very pretty outside today too in Connecticut. There's Tyler. What do you think, Tyler?
I like turtles.
Oh, he likes turtles. Not to be lame here, but we're looking at the lighthouse, and Tyler said, what was that? And we thought there was a person up there. I don't know if there was.
I thought I saw someone like a shadow walk by, but
and it's like
I wouldn't say
broad daylight, so it's like,
I wouldn't say that I saw something.
yeah, I wouldn't say it was something. It was just, we just saw a glimpse of like a shadow or something.
Seemed like I saw, but I guess it could have been the corner of my glasses or
yeah,
a leaf or any other thing.
So it's very pretty though. Nice breeze right by the ocean because it's called Seaside, so it makes sense. Okay everyone, so we are here at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast, and we are in the Bridget Sullivan room. Some creepy ass dolls and cute teddy bears, some like little frames and stuff. That's Bridget Sullivan at Lizzie Borden's trial. Little table over here. Hello, it's a mirror. And little closet, the door, and the bed. So this is where we're going to be hanging out tonight. We have a tour at 8 o'clock of the house. I don't know if I can videotape that. Okay, here we are in Lizzie Borden's actual room, which is interesting. And there's actually over here, there are a collection of some of her actual books. So those were her actual, we can't actually get in there obviously, but there are some of Lizzie's books. And then these are just ones that they have in here. And there's the little,
What's her actual handwriting?
oh yeah. That's Maplecroft, which is where Lizzie lived after here. She bought a house. There's just pictures of her everywhere. And this door is what connects into the master bedroom, which is her parents' room. And apparently, like, obviously you can see it locks, and it locks on both sides. And then she would push her bed up against the door also, which is pretty weird. It makes you kind of think, like, why would you do that? It's very bizarre. That's her and her mother. I don't know who that man is. This is her sister's room. That's like much smaller. That's her sister Emma. Okay, so run down to eat breakfast, but I just want to show you guys the room that we had like the most experiences in when we were here. My straightener. We were on the tour, and they had a K2 meter, and that like lit up a lot. And then someone had their phone plugged in right there, and we were just all standing here, and the phone cord was flat on the wall, and or flat on the floor, and it lifted up. And like lifted up onto someone's leg, and he like freaked out, and then this lady shrieked. It was like the most terrifying thing ever. It was so weird. And then right after that, like the little meter was going off and it was going wild, so it was super weird. And then in the corner there's a couple that stayed here, and he was reading books to the children, who I'll write about in my blog and talk about in a little bit when we're on our way to Salem. Right now we're gonna eat, and then we're gonna go to Salem, and that's gonna be exciting. So okay, so I didn't do a whole lot of vlogging. I mean, I got a few rooms, but not too much. So I decided to do kind of a little photo montage with my recording afterthought recording. So we stayed the entire night in the room, in the Bridget Sullivan room, and to be honest with you, it was one of the most difficult nights to get through. Nothing too crazy happened. The only thing that happened to me was around 3 in the morning, which is an interesting time to be awoken. I was awoken to the sound of the door latches rattling, which was pretty scary because no one was walking around the house. I checked the next day. So yeah, the door latches were rattling, and it woke me up. It was so loud. So very interesting. Very hard to get through the night. We slept probably an hour between Tyler and I. He's not someone to get spooked easily. I have high anxiety, so I wasn't surprised that I was on edge the whole time. But he actually said that, like, he would find it difficult to stay there again just because the whole sort of feel in the house is very uneasy, just given all the tension that's occurred in the home, even though it was a long time ago. So definitely weird. You can definitely kind of feel, if you're a more sensitive person, that there is a sort of bad energy there and sort of a heaviness. It's a beautiful and very comfortable house. The owner, Leanne, and Deb was our tour guide. they're really amazing people. They make you very comfortable. They kind of let you just do whatever you please. They were wonderful, wonderful. We just had a hard time sleeping there just because of the kind of knowing what happened and that type of thing. So very interesting house. You can see some of the pictures that I'm showing throughout the house. The one where you see the black velvet couch is actually where Mr. Borden was murdered. So he received multiple hatchet hits to the face. And so right there on that couch. So it's very interesting. But overall, it was a great experience. It was just a little bit spooky at night. So we had a great time. You should go check it out if you're ever in Falls River. Amazing, amazing people. Most of the tour guides and people who work there are actually paranormal investigators. So they're wonderful, and they have the most interesting stories to tell. So definitely go, stay the night if you can, if you want to, if you can find the courage to stay the night, do it. And so yeah.
Of this gathering madness. Before it was done, 19 would hang. Another, Giles Corey, would die a still more horrible death, and hundreds all over New England would be sent to jail, some for up to 7 years, languishing forgotten, long after the obsession with witchcraft had died away. Amid all this confusion, the farcical trials in which judge and jury gave in to the screaming of hysterical girls, amid fear and slander and random accusations, a few men stood out as heroes, steadfastly clinging to their reason and their principles, even in the shadow of the gallows. One of these was John Proctor. From the first, he refused to be swept up in the general panic. Unlike others, he saw the hounding of witches to be nonsense and said so. When his own servant girl was afflicted, he turned her over his knee and spanked her, temporarily curing her. His outspokenness attracted the attention of the girls. His pregnant wife Elizabeth was soon accused and haled into court as a witch. When he took the stand to defend her, he was denounced by one of the witnesses, Abigail Williams. By spectral evidence, she suddenly discovered that he too was a witch.
Okay, so this is really disappointing, but unfortunately I was not able to get any vlogs except for one from the Witch Museum, which was not even supposed to have my camera out, and I did not hear the announcement at all. I don't know why I figured that I could record. It's a museum, you're usually not supposed to, but I did anyway, and I feel terrible about it. But that is the only video recording that I have of Salem. Granted, we were only there for about 5 hours because we totally underestimated the time that we would have. We thought we would have at least a day, if not a day and a half, in Salem, but we didn't realize that there's actually a lot of traffic. It was very busy, and so yeah. It was raining, so it was a little harder to get around, and so we didn't end up seeing as much as we wanted to, but I have a lot of pictures of different places that we went. So again, it's going to be a photo montage of Salem with my recording sort of our experience. Very sad. We're going to try to go back, especially we want to go back in the fall, so hopefully next fall we can get it back out there, and I can take a proper vlog of the streets of Salem. Most of it is museums and shops and things, and they prefer that you don't record inside of them, so that was part of the reason. The other part was me just being lazy and being sort of in awe about Salem and how beautiful it was. So yeah, enjoy the pictures. I'll sort of go through and explain our experiences. Like I said, I will put in the video recording of the Witch Museum, even though I'm not supposed to, and hopefully it doesn't get taken down. So yeah, so we went to the Witch Museum, which was awesome. We went to the Witch House, which is where one of the judges, Judge Corwin, lived with his family. That was interesting. We got to talk to one of the tour guides who was extremely knowledgeable. He was probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my freaking life. And he knew so much about the city, so we were able to get a lot more than sort of just the Witch Museum history into that trip, so that was awesome. We also went to Gallows Hill, which is basically just a park now, which is kind of creepy. It's just a park with swings, like old, rotted, rustic-looking swings, so it's really weird. and like a slide or something. So it's very interesting. And I think that's basically we went to the Witch Memorial, which is beautiful. They have stones like for each person who was hung, or in Giles Corey's case, like crushed to death by stones, basically. So everyone essentially died from hanging, with the exception of one person, who was Giles Corey. So very interesting place. Salem has a sort of charm to it, definitely. It's not like anywhere else, that's for sure. Like I said, we didn't get to experience it too much, so I didn't get a proper feel for it, but from what we experienced, it was absolutely beautiful. They have a lot of Wiccan stores, so if that's sort of your religion, or that's something that you're interested in, it's absolutely amazing. It really sparked my interest in the Wiccan religion, so I actually bought a book, and I've actually started on my journey of Wicca in its modern form. So I'm learning about it and trying to get a feel for it to see if that's something that I'd be interested in. I've always been interested in it, but going to Salem really like sort of wakes you up, sort of gives you the feel of whether or not you're going to like it. So anyway, that was our experience at Salem. It was a quick trip, and we're looking forward to a longer one next time. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you in my next video.